What is up, everyone? David DeFranco here from daviddefranco.com. Right behind me, I just launched the official redesign today. Check it out. I appreciate it. Today's video is all about this little bad boy. This is the Transit High Performance Bluetooth speaker. In a nutshell, it's a premium speaker that works with anything that supports Bluetooth connectivity and audio playback, as well as video playback. But obviously, you're not going to be seeing the video on the speaker, but still, to at least get decent audio from your iPhone, Android device, or whatever over to the speaker, it's a nice plus. Alright, so jumping into my review, I do want to say I have reviewed at least 4 or 5 Bluetooth audio speakers in the recent years, and I gotta say, guys, right off the bat, this is hands down the best and most high quality speaker I have ever reviewed. Alright, so there's plenty of time to praise this product because I really did like it that much, but let's just jump into the pros. The first pro is design, guys, and I was not let down whatsoever. The design of the Transit speaker is incredible. I was so impressed by the packaging alone, and for proof of that, just click the unboxing link right below this video. I just thought it was incredible, but that's obviously just the beginning because the true design factor matters in the product itself. And guys, honestly, the Transit speaker, it looks pretty freaking nice. Now I know saying freaking nice isn't professional, but I'm just being honest. I mean, I really love this black and silver color scheme it has going on. Also, the build quality is awesome. This thing feels very sturdy. Now, obviously, you're not going to be picking it up and throwing it here and there, so the build quality might not be important to you. But still, guys, if it is important to you like it is to me, you will not be disappointed at all with the Transit speaker. This thing overall just feels high quality and not cheap at all. And honestly, it reflects in the price, which I'll talk about in a bit. Alright, so moving on with design, the flip-out kickstand, boom, is probably my favorite feature about this because I love playing my music and just setting it on my kitchen counter in the morning as I make coffee, or even sitting it on my desk right here as I get my work done. And wrapping up this portion of the review, I do want to give full props to Soen for thinking of this next feature, and that is the magnetic cover. Ranging from simple things like the iPad 2's magnetic capabilities to something like the Transit magnetic cover, I just love magnets, and especially when they work for me, the user, they just allow that ultimate convenience. Moving on to pro number 2, and this is pretty much a given, but still, I appreciate it either way. You do get onboard controls for volume, Bluetooth connectivity, and of course the power button. Also included is a USB port for charging, as well as a 3.5mm connection for those who do not have a device that supports Bluetooth. Okay, so moving on to pro number 3, this is easily the most important one of all because without awesome sound quality, well, something like this, it could look great, the packaging could be amazing, like I said, but if the audio quality isn't at least decent, then what's the point of buying it, right? But thankfully, the Transit does not disappoint whatsoever. I mean, it really is that good. Not only are the sounds very loud and rich, but I was just overly impressed from playing music such as classical to something more complex and bass heavy, such as dubstep. Alright, so I may not be an audio expert, but I gotta say, guys, I was really impressed by both the highs and the lows. Highs especially shined in songs such as, the soundtrack from Final Fantasy or movie soundtracks such as Up. And then, of course, the lows really shined in songs such as, albums from Skrillex, Zomboy, and Deadmau5. So, yeah, in other words, this thing is great all around. Like I said, from classical to dubstep to rock to pop to heavy metal, whatever you listen to, this thing will do just fine, and I was overly impressed. But what about battery life? Well, Soen claims that you will get 8 hours, and the good news, from using this thing for 2 weeks, I have not had to charge it once. Now, granted, I only really use it in the morning, when I'm in the shower, making breakfast and whatever. That's just my personal daily routine. But for having this thing for 2 weeks and playing it for at least 20 minutes every morning, the fact that I haven't had to charge it at all, that says something. And finally, last but not least in the list of pros, this is just something I really appreciate because I love that attention to detail, and that's the fact that everything you do on this thing has some sort of audible feedback. Whether it's turning it on, or connecting it to my phone, like that, and then of course playing the music, everything just sounds great. I especially loved the sounds. Again, just listen to this. Simple things like that I just really like a lot. Alright, so wrapping up the list of pros, I do want to give you guys at least an audible example of how great this thing sounds. Now, you got to keep in mind, you're just watching a video right now, obviously. So this isn't really going to demonstrate the true power and capabilities of the Transit speaker, but take my word for it, this thing does sound awesome. So let me open up Pandora, and let me play Zomboy Radio. Hopefully I won't get hit with copyright. And for a little bit of bass. There you go. And it's very loud, as you can hear. Let me just wait for the drop or whatever. Almost there. That sounds pretty good. I love it. Now going from, I'm yelling, to the Metal Gear Solid theme. This theme is incredible. Although it has a very slow startup, so I'm going to go to the next song from Final Fantasy VIII. This is actually a great example of the highs. You can hear that nice chime sound. There you go. Very nice. And honestly, just hearing that gives me chills. I love video game soundtracks. Also guys, I want to touch on one more thing in the list of pros, and that's the fact that the bass, it might not be thumpy bass like rocking the house. Obviously, you can only expect so much from something of this size, but for what it is, like I said, for something this size, the bass performance is not bad at all, and it's definitely the best of the bunch that I have reviewed in recent years. Okay, so moving on to the list of cons, and honestly, there's only 2 of them, which is not bad at all, especially for past products I've reviewed. Con number 1, and this is not a huge deal at all. I mean, this is just a small grip that I had, and that's the fact that there's no carrying handle. I mean, I was kind of spoiled with that luxury and that convenience with the Eco X Gear BT, I think that's what it was called, that I reviewed a couple months ago. I mean, I really love just holding the handles, but still, like I said, it's really not a huge deal at all. And this thing is extremely tiny. It does have that magnetic cover, so you're going to have no problem, you know, carrying this thing from place to place. And now for con number 2, this definitely relates to your budget and your personal preference of how much you're willing to spend. And well, this thing is not cheap. It costs $249. Now, maybe that's not crazy. I mean, I would say it's worth it if you care about good audio and overall excellent build quality and functionality, because again, I was impressed overall with everything this thing has to offer. Again, this just relates to your budget and your personal preference of how much you're actually willing to spend on a speaker. But still guys, I know for a fact that there are people who would easily spend more than $249 on decent headphones. So that kind of puts things into perspective. So the overall verdict, is it worth it? If it's in your budget, hell yes, without a doubt. It's a little expensive, but if you're willing to spend that much, go for it. And of course, huge thanks to Soen for making this video possible. I greatly appreciate it. That link is right below if you're interested in buying this for yourself. And well, this wraps up my review. If you guys have any more questions regarding the Transit speaker, never ever hesitate to ask right below. And don't forget to check out my new personal website over at davidfranco.com. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you again, guys. Your continued support is awesome, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.